Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesdays Live. This is take two. I actually did a whole live stream and I got a phone call in the middle of it and it cut off all the sound. So we're going to try this again. Today's topic, we're talking about tracking your food. Does it work or does it not work? If you're new here, you can say hello. I would love for this to be an open conversation. What's up, Tommy? My name is Renee Paulson. I'm a recovering food and sugar addict, a healthy living and nutrition coach, and also wife, mom, former band player, marching band, all those things. So today I want to talk to you about tracking your food and if it's successful and if it's not successful, and why we love to hate doing this. So, tracking your food, they actually are new studies out that it is massively successful. Like, this is going to be a huge game changer in regards to reaching your health goals and also maintaining any type of weight loss or health goals that you have. So it could be losing weight. If you have to lose 20 pounds, you got to lose 50 pounds. Let's say you got to lose 120 pounds. Let's say you want to get off your blood pressure medication. All of those things are extremely possible. And I want to give you the tools on how you can actually make that part of just your real life. Now, tracking food is something that I really like hated and stayed away from for a very long time. I thought it was very obsessive, and I was like, I thought it was ridiculous, and it's for people who have gobs of time. They have their shit together, and like that's for other people, not me. And I fought against it for such a long time. Except I did do Weight Watchers before, and Weight Watchers has you track your food. Now they have an app. I wasn't in Weight Watchers when it was that fancy. But here's why it works. And the studies are showing for people who track their food 6 out of 7 days versus people who track their food 1 out of 7 days, you're looking at double the weight loss. Yeah, like double the weight loss. That's massive. Here's why I think that that really works is that number one, it turns you into you're eating more mindfully. You become a more mindful eater because you've written down what you're consuming. Everything that's going in, you've got to write it down, you track it, and it depends on if you're tracking it like you're just writing in a notebook. This is my push journal. I have this, and I honestly have never used. I'm not saying never, but I have. But I don't really like using this. So if you track it and you just watch, it's just something that you do when you're writing it pen to paper, or you have an app that actually tells you like what the calories, what the protein, what the fat, what all of that is. But those things work because you become a more mindful eater. You kind of enter this space as in, well, I already had all of this food. Um, that's too much trouble. It can be some trouble, but once you get into the habit of it, it's really not that bad. Tracking your food really is important when you have a health goal that you want to reach, especially like if you have something where you have a major goal that you want to lose. Let's say you want to lose 50 pounds or more. Knowing what's going in is extremely important so that that takes the guesswork out of it. When you're trying to do guesswork, especially when it's something like losing weight, and it can be very discouraging when you feel like you get stuck and you've hit a plateau, but really it's getting back to knowing exactly what's going in your body, what you're eating, what you're consuming. And not only is it work because you turn into a more mindful eater, but what they're finding is, and this is extremely important and a very good tool for food and sugar addicts, is that you start weighing out your food choices in is this worth it versus is this other thing worth it? So, meaning, let's say you have a treat day, right? And I'm an advocate for treat days, even though I'm a sugar detox coach. People still think that I don't consume sugar, but I do. But let's say it's your treat meal, not treat day, excuse me, misspoken, but it's your treat meal, and you could go and either have like a Cinnabon, or you could have, I don't have my Mountain Dew prop here, but you could have a Mountain Dew. They have almost the same amount of sugar in them. Actually, the Mountain Dew has a little bit more sugar than the regular Cinnabon, if you can believe it, in a 20 ounce. But then it comes down to, well, is this worth it? And I made a comment talking about soda last week and how I don't really drink soda anymore just because I find that it's not worth it. And that's what I mean. It's like Would I rather have this amazing cinnamon bun or have this Mountain Dew? So you start to weigh out those food choices. And then let's say it's not a treat meal. Let's just say it's a regular meal. But let's say that Sharon bought Halloween cupcakes because we all know it's about to happen. How the holidays are coming and we're about to hit the potluck. Like all the food that everybody makes is so delicious. But Sharon brought the Halloween cupcakes, and you had a donut this morning that someone else brought in. So it brings it like, is it worth it? Well, I already had this donut, or I already ate this, or it's not my treat meal and that's off limits. It kind of it puts it in black and white right in front of your face where there's no hiding. And the reason that a lot of food and sugar addicts actually reject the idea of tracking their food is because there's no hiding and no like lying about it. If you put something down, it's a lie to yourself. That's all that it is, unless you're one of my clients and then nobody else is looking at your food. If you're a client of mine, you're sending me your food log every day, so I'm looking at it. But if you are trying to do this on your own and you're tracking your food by putting something false down, that's only a lie to yourself and it only hurts yourself in the end. I used to do that, especially with Weight Watchers. I'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah, I had 4 ounces. Really, I had no idea because I wasn't weighing anything out and I wasn't tracking it properly. And to think about weighing food out and then tracking it sounds like a process. It sounds like it's going to take a really long time and be super annoying. And like, is it even really worth it? And those are all the things that I kind of went down that whole trail of going like, is this really worth it? Is this going to do it? So I started tracking my food. I told you just to be a smart ass, just to like shut my husband up basically, because he was very adamant, like you have to track your food. You need to know what's going in and out. And right now, I track my food on an app called Chronometer. So I don't write it down, but the Chronometer app actually is a very in-depth app. It's not free, you have to pay for it, but it breaks everything down, even into like vitamins and minerals and things like that are important for me to know and what I want to see now. Because, yeah, I'd like to see the calories and the fat and all that stuff. But also, if I'm going to track my food to know what's going in, like I want to know other important stuff. Like, am I getting all my vitamins? Am I getting all my calcium? Am I getting all my folate? All those things that are important to know. And without tracking your food, it feels like you're flying blind. And it can take so much longer on your health goal to reach that goal if you don't know the plan and you don't know what's going in, so then you can adjust from here on, from there. And as much as I hate to tell my husband that he's right, I started tracking my food, and it's so, in the beginning it was like a process, like a pain in the butt, especially you don't really know what you're doing because they don't teach you this stuff in school. I'm not really sure why. But so it takes a bit of time to try and get used to that process. But once you get it, man, you're smooth sailing. And one of the biggest reasons too to help track your food is like guessing what's going in and guessing that, well, this is 4 ounces or this is that, um, can really throw you off majorly. I know when we started tracking, my husband's he would make these protein shakes and he would say, well, this is 4 tablespoons of peanut butter for both of us in a protein shake. And I'm like, dude, that looks more like 6 tablespoons. I don't really know about that. And for sure enough, when we went to weigh it out, it was closer to, almost double the amount. And now if you think about this and you're working your butt off, right? You're working out, you're watching what you eat, you're only having a treat once a week, you're drinking a ton of water, you're getting your sleep, you're doing all the things that you need to do. But let's say you're adding and you're eating, let's say, peanut butter. Peanut butter is healthy, but it's also high in fat. Even though it's a good fat, it's still, if you're consuming more of that than what you think you are, then even that can throw you off to where then to get to your goal, it's taking double the time. You're hitting plateaus, you're getting frustrated, and in the end, you're just like, what am I killing myself for? Like, what am I doing all of this for? if I'm not even going to reach my goal, I might as well just like, this is taking forever. I'm just going to throw my hands up and I'm going to go get some Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like, screw it. I'm done. I'm done with this. And getting frustrated and hitting that wall is understandable. But knowing that you know, you're killing yourself and without tracking your food, you're still flying blind, that can be super frustrating, where it makes you feel like you want to give up and you're just like, I don't even feel like doing this anymore. And, I'm okay with myself at the size that I am, which size and the weight doesn't matter. It's how you feel. It's how you feel about yourself. It's how you feel if your energy wise and just even your own self-confidence and your own self-love. So it's not about the number on the scale, but it is about knowing what's going in, which is super important, especially like I said, you're trying to reach health goals, you're trying to get off your blood pressure medication, you're trying to come off, you know, to reverse type 2 diabetes. It's extremely important to know what's going in, and it will help you in the long run. It actually helps you reach your goal because you're putting it right there in black and white. So you're adding another layer of accountability. And then it ends up, if you continue to track your food throughout your lifetime, it will just continue to have that lifelong success. Now, some people will say, I don't want to track my food for my whole entire life. And that's, this is your personal health journey. But I will tell you that if you take the time to bust your ass to lose 80 pounds or 100 pounds or what, even 50 pounds, like that's a lot. You want to keep that off. And I want to give you the tools that's going to make that possible and to give you the best success for your life so that you don't have to, like, honey, I've been there where I've lost 30 pounds and then gained it back. And it feels like trash. That doesn't feel good. And nobody's going to tell me that that feels good. And, without addressing food or sugar addiction and without using the tools that you've got or creating tools or learning tools, like I created all these tools for myself on how to do it. It's not rocket science, but there wasn't a layout. So knowing the tools and knowing how to keep yourself in that success for the rest of your life instead of being like, oh yeah, I yo-yo all the time. I just lost 30 pounds a couple years ago, but then I all crept back on. Keeping that food tracker and just having that as a daily habit is going to keep you accountable. It's going to help you make better food choices. It's going to help you weigh out other choices that maybe, like everybody knows that Cinnabon is not healthy. But if you're having this for a treat, we already know it's not healthy. This is your treat. But you weigh out different food items from there. So it's definitely a great tool to use just in your everyday life. I am going to talk more about how to track your food especially when you first start out, starting at weighing things and really diving into how to do that in the long term to be successful. I'm going to dive into all of that on Thursday's live. It's an exclusive live in a private Facebook group. So I'm going to actually put that in the comments. So you can go over there, you can join, and then you'll be able to hop in. I do exclusive lives in there every Thursday, and we cover topics like food addiction, tracking your food, what fake sugar does to your brain, all sorts of tips that go on in there. And we, like I said, we dive in a lot deeper into all of these details. So we're going to be diving in a lot deeper into tracking your food, the mindset and all of that, why it works, and of course, why you can't hide from yourself on that. So until then, I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. I hope that you found this very helpful. Leave a comment. Let me know what your best aha moment was. Just shout yourself out. What's up? And yeah, other than that, have a fantastic day. Check out tracking your food. I know that there are several free apps that you can use to track your food, and I'm going to also go over the best free apps on that Thursday live as well. So until then, I love you bunches. Have a great day.